Hi, sniping.
That's a feels bad, bro.
Yo, Escargot, what's up?
Hi,
Hello,
sniping.
gamer.
How's your day been?
Pretty good. How about you?
I mean, it's been pretty good. I'm right now 2-4 in my placement. Real
Let's
Nice.
go.
right
I
now.
did some more of my placements. I went from what was I like 1-4, and now I think I'm
Bro,
I'm like
I'm
two
literally.
and two and six or something. I
Bro,
don't
what's a
even remember.
diamond? No, listen, bro, listen. Then I'm plat 2. I'm 3600. Now I'm almost gold 1.
Oh
It's so fucking
God.
bad.
I checked my MMR earlier today, and I was like, wait, I'm at 2500. Holy shit.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Bro,
Yeah, and
like,
I
I
was
love how we
halfway
get
through
this
my
gold.
placements as well.
Oh, that's
Oh
unfortunate.
God, Jesus Christ! I have 2 placements left. I'm
Probably
at 2600. Yeah, this is not
if
my
at
season.
2600, you could literally just solo queue and get like the worst players in A.
I could.
Sniping. Hi, sniping.
Can I start it out?
Then I don't know. You have to havoc.
Hi.
What's up, Scargo? We're ready whenever
How
they
you
are.
been?
We just need KJ now.
I know.
Am I all good to start it out?
Yeah, you're good on those.
Give me a sec.
Alright.
I'm gonna be waiting patiently for the game to start.
What league is this, Wick?
Midnight. Is it midnight? Escargot, what league is
Are
this?
you good to go?
Alright, yeah, this is midnight.
Escargot, what league is this?
This is midnight.
Good
Good
luck,
luck,
everyone.
everyone.
Oh.
Okay.
I love you, sniping.
Yeah, and it's gonna leave you guys on that, so I don't know, I'm just gonna keep that name in mind, I guess. Lucky. But anyways, gonna be focusing a bit on the game here. It's second placement of 3, at least for Calibrate Legacy. Midnight League, as I just said, placements. Calibrate Legacy actually gonna be attacking first here versus Brothers Till Death. A long while back, I actually ended up casting for Brothers Till Death. I think it was back in like year 5, season 2. So I haven't seen them in a while, but it's been what, about 24 hours, just under, I think, since I've seen Calibrate Legacy play. Another thing that they had a game after that. I don't know how that went. And I think they have another game actually later tonight. So gonna be just keeping the momentum going, I guess. Just stay on that grind, if you wanted to put it that way. But gonna now focus on sort of the actual match here, and some stereotypical bans to say the least. I'm not surprised really by the Jackal ban, strong on that roam clear, as well as helping the roam game out a bit as sort of a byproduct. And then Kaid and Thatcher, those two bans sort of meant to even each other out. But the important part about the Kaid ban, especially on Oregon, it means that it's going to be borderline impossible, I'd say, for the defending team to hold down basement's hatches. So that means electrical is going to be almost free, and same with lobby hatch, and then also freezer's going to be harder to hold due to not having the freezer hatch. Really, the only way to keep them closed, since they can't be impact tricked, is maybe a mute jammer, but that only really works on the lobby hatch, or having some sort of angle above, or putting somebody to watch that hatch. But all of those really involve some sort of action, and that's going to be, I'd say, a bit risky if all you're looking to do is just hold down the hatch. But gonna now try and actually go to basement for their first sight. Willie Brothers Till Death. Bringing the Goyo there, switching off actually the Valkyrie onto the soon-to-be reworked operator. I don't know exactly when he'll be reworked, but it's going to be really it's going to be really unfortunate when he does, because the shields are integral really to his character, I'd say.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
But gonna see how they decide to hold it, and they will be actually looking for that blue elbow hold that we see. It's not very common, at least now that Jaeger has been changed. I wouldn't say for the better or for the worse. It just depends on your viewpoint on that. And we'll be bringing that Goyo shield actually instead of putting the shield from Instinct as the smoke. We'll be actually putting a bit more of a high-powered shield. And that Goyo Vulcan, the other Vulcan being on Pillar, and I'm not sure where that smoke shield is. I guess we'll figure that out soon enough, and it's right by the, as you can see, right by that rotate, so don't exactly know what it's for. I'm not exactly sure. 6 matches in 5 days. Wow. Yeah, that is grind. That is like 0 days off kind of mentality. And admittedly, like, all the leagues are starting up at the same time, so can't exactly say that it isn't sort of meant to be a bit this way, but still. Gamer now going to be trying to enter for his team, get an opening pick here, open up the entire game with a strong kill onto somebody. We'll be encountering Domestic as the, well, Mai, realizing that he's over on that side. Gamer will send out a few bullets trying to take him down, but to no avail. And he's going to use some actually sightline set up there in electrical to help him hold down the blue side as well. Help out the smoke, actually, of Instinct in holding that down. He does have that Vulcan shield as well as the 2 ADSs to cover him. So, certainly a strong presence in that blue and boiler / pillar push, whichever one you want to refer to it as. But now going to try and sort of decipher how to attack this. Firstly, Gamer there trying to push in. I don't remember if there's any sort of ADSs covering it from behind. It doesn't look like it, so he was very close to actually hitting Domestic. And there goes one Magnet. I think that actually took down both, so Gamer only has 1 Ash Charge left, but he can open up that shield now, and that's going to sort of compromise Domestic's position, realizing that Domestic, even though he has 2 Wamai Magnets left, won't fall back there. Now Flashbang's going out as well as the final Ash Charge, which will burn that Vulcan, but there's only a minute left in the round, so it's going to now become a bit more difficult, I'd say, for the attacking team, and we're still at full numbers here. There was no roamers to clear out from Brothers Till Death, outside of maybe this Goyo, as you can see, of CD, who's just holding an angle, but even then, he hasn't really been a thorn in their side. He's just been holding an angle. The Gamer going to now push into electrical. And now that blue elbow hold collapsing finally, with about 40 seconds left, so spent a lot of time there. It didn't really waste any utility, though, and didn't use any smoke waves. Gamer Check getting a double kill to open this up, getting rid of Swick and Instinct. Mr. Iconic will pick off Domestic, however, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Vacker? I don't even know. Some vowel, and then as the Jaeger will take down Gamer, trading his teammate, sniping now, looking for the plan. Mr. Iconic's down, not out just yet. It's a 2v3 now. Vacker taking down God of War. Crispy, however, will trade for his teammate. 1v2, CD will pick off Crispy, trading his own teammate as well. Mr. Iconic is down, so it's really just a 1v1 here. Up to just CD and sniping, however, holding this very tight angle. Does just catch a glimpse of him. Now gonna shoot some bullets at him. CD realizing that, holding the angle. And now Sniping might be looking for the revive, but it would be a bit risky. Holding the angle, does get that kill. Onto CD and the round there. It'll be 1-0. Calibrate Legacy getting this opening round for an early lead. Free Philip, he ain't no none. No. And now going on to the second round, we're actually going to see a defensive top floor now from Brothers Till Death. I don't know if Basin was their primary site, but it didn't exactly seem like it. They had CD as the Goyo playing in security, trying to help hold that hatch down for them to successfully hold Freezer, which for the most part Legacy ignored that side. So didn't get a flank down either, didn't try and rotate around, which if I'm remembering that last round correctly, there was no sort of flank watch. It was likely a flank drone, but no air jab, no claymore, nothing really to watch the flank side of Calibrate Legacy, so could have certainly at least threatened them with that. just made the at least wasted some time, but didn't. And simply due to the way that Legacy played that, some time was wasted because it was not only that they were exactly prepared for such a conservative strategy of a nearly 5-man anchor there. So, did end up, however, letting that plant down, and I think a large part of that was due to losing, I think it was Instinct as the smoke. He was playing smoke and he didn't get a single canister down. So the fact that they lost that, as well as I think that came some sort of man advantage, losing that was what really I guess the best way to put it is the kiss of death for that round. And now smash charges from GamerCheck, presumably going to be going down from below there to hopefully actually open that up, get rid of any sort of denial on it. And I don't even know if there was any denial. Might have been a mute jammer at best, but speaking of that, they do have that drone denial on the mute. CD, however, going to take down Crispy, removes that Nomad. I don't even know if he got rid of any, if he put down any utilities. So that's a lot of active utility gone. Mr. Iconic, however, will kill Domestic and CD Boy as well, being picked off there by Snipin. Now that rotate there into Kids being reinforced, it appears. And they haven't even they've not even pushed into Attic. All they did was take that little part of the wall, thanks to presumably God of War as the Maverick. So doesn't have a whole lot of gas left, but could certainly do something about that. And now you're gonna use a frag grenade to open that, despite the fact that they'll rotate there in Kids. Nobody playing in Swamp, Tarb, whichever one you want to call it. And so it would have been more efficient, I'd say, more cost-effective in terms of utility to just knife it, really. And even the Instinct as the mute, the closest one to them, didn't even try and push it. Someone's going down there. It appears all three? No, the two, actually. Three. I was wrong. I keep on going back and forth. Three Selmas, all of Snipin's primary utility, going to be going down on that game wall with about a minute left here. However, man advantage favoring the attacking team, actually. So this is going to make the remainder of this round a bit harder for Brothers Till Death, as they're just going to try and hold angles now on site, actually. Does still have Swick as the smoke. Now Snipin looking for a plan in the default. I don't know if they realize it. Certainly doesn't seem like it. But now Smokin will go out there to try and smoke him out. And even though he can go through the wall, Gamer takes down Instinct, as Instinct actually kills Snipin. And there goes Vicar. I don't even know what to call him. I'm just going to settle on Vicar. Taking out Mr. Iconic, up to just Gamer and God of War versus Swick and Vicar. Even numbers here, but the post plant will favor the attacking team. All they have to do really is just waste enough time from Brothers Till Death. Smoker going to go out there. Vicar tries to swing him, but does get taken down there for a double kill from GamerCheck again. 1v1 Swick picks off God of War. Impressive work from him. But 3k there from GamerCheck. It'll now be 2-0. A bit of a stronger lead now being established here by Calibrate Legacy over Brothers Till Death. Alright, and now we're going to be moving on to this next round. As you can tell, just going actually back to Kids for the second time this half. Ideally, they would only go here 2 times. Go through every site just twice and, you know, go for that perfect 6-0 half. But dreams being shattered, to say the least, by Crispy and the rest of Calibrate Legacy, who have been on a roll so far. They've been doing well against the setups here of Brothers Till Death. I think a good part of that is that these walls are not really being held down all that strongly. By the way, the name's pronounced Vicar. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go.
Alright, thank you for confirming that, because some names with an X in them, like, I can figure out the vowel or whatever letter it is. And then some names like Vicar, like, it's like, what is your name? It's just, I have no clue on some of these names, but I'm gonna actually focus on something a bit more precise, as actually no sort of T3 hold. I thought that there was gonna be somebody out there for a second, but there wasn't. And now, once again, a very sort of anchor-focused setup here from Brother Still Death. And that, combined with the fact that they're not really holding down these walls all that heavily, is what I think is really leading them to losing these rounds. Because as you can tell, Instinct going to be drowned out there, actually, by one of the members of Legacy. Don't know which exactly, but him and CD are the only ones really off-site, and even then, they're not really off-site. They're both essentially just adjacent. CD going to be flashed out again, but not blinded at all, so could certainly still swing him. And Creepy once again on that rappel, now trying to deal with him, getting some assistance in terms of drones and flashbangs, but still have to deal with those magnets from Wamai. The Wamai actually have domestic, so don't know if that's the smartest choice, but certainly not any sort of immediate punishment. And a nitro from CD! Wow! Wipes out Crispy. I don't think he was expecting that. Even that he should have seen it. It was right on the door frame as well. Jeez. And it's now a 5v4, and sort of the X factor, I'd say, that quiet, little subtle difference that has been making quite a bit of difference, actually, is the fact that none of these rounds have really gone the way of, in terms of man advantage, the way of Brothers Till Death. And I mean, admittedly, you know, this is the first round that we just saw man advantage go the way, so starting man advantage at least go the way of Brothers Till Death. And God of War just neutralized that, as I said, that taking down Instinct, who's holding down Trophy, but they still have to deal with CD, who's just sitting nice and comfortable there in Armory. He has an angle onto Master, so he could certainly deny that push if they aren't careful enough. Does actually let his presence be known there to Snipen. Does not hit him, but is certainly on the watch, actually. Trying to find him, does take down that Banshee there. Now Gamer gonna push forward here and try and take him down, and as you can tell, just gonna remove that mute jammer there for whatever reason it is. And see, he's still wasting some time, gonna rotate away, might look for a very quick flank late in the game. And Gamer, realizing that, will fall down, actually, or fall back, pardon me. 3v4 actually, God of War getting that double kill. Now man advantage favoring the attacking team. Sniping looking to plant here, but low time, and he cannot do that. So he cannot plant in the smoke. He would die during that plant. 2v4. Mr. Iconic takes down Domestic. Swick, however, gonna get a kill with the FMG9 onto God of War. Wow. But still, the man advantage favoring the defending team even more so, as Mr. Iconic gets a double kill at least there on Deceited. Such just Swick. He has no more smoke waves. He's in the post plant here. He's outnumbered in a 1v3. Gonna swing that, but Gamer punishes him for that ignorance and gets a now 3-0 lead here over Brothers Till Death. And now we've spent half of this first half, so a quarter if you want to put it that way, just watching really a beatdown here from Gamer and the rest of Calibrate Legacy. They've been in a very good spot, down catastrophically. Okay, that's funny.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a beatdown here from Calibrate Legacy onto Brothers Till Death. And Brothers Till Death have been a bit inert, I'd say. They had that round in the bag. Casey was slamming those kids from Arsenal. I don't know how they walked into sight. How did they walk into sight, you may ask? It's because Gamer picked off Seed, I'm presuming that's Casey. So Gamer pushed up main, or ground stairs, whichever one you want to call it. So Sniping is the aces in Master. Gamer pushes up main, gets the kill, and so now this entire trophy side, because at this point I think Mr. Iconic and the Maverick of God of War had both taken Attic. So basically this entire side here, and there's nobody holding game or, you know, this sort of spot right here. This entire spot, east actually, of game room, really, this game wall, that entire area was empty. It was free basically, so all they had to do was just sneak into a default plant spot and plant. Because there's nobody nobody on white to cover that, to stop the plant. Nobody playing right by this sort of sight line to stop the plant. So once CD was gone, it was free, really. So I think that's what really happened there, is that they just had nobody there for that final part of it, really. And now the Maverick there of God of War once again going to be trying to open something up. Will be opening up that hatch there, as they don't have any other hard breach really suited for that outside of potentially the Ace, but even then I don't think that they want to be wasting 2 Selmas on just a single hatch. And now God of War opening it up with apparently 3 canisters left. Not too sure about that. Mr. Iconic going to take down that Goyo shield already from Domestic, and I think that happened at first. That happened with about a minute left. But it only happened this time with about a minute and 40 left, so a lot more effective there on that push. And now gonna just try and keep the momentum going, really. And the only thing they have to worry about for that blue push is potentially Instinct. Once again, gonna be holding that same setup there, and does scuffs the smoke babe, and that will actually allow a safe push in there from God of War. Domestic picking off Mr. Iconic. Gamer, however, evens it up, trades his teammate. Switch trades him though for a 4v3, and the man advantage will be maintained here to favor Brothers Till Death. Snipe been trying to even it up there onto the smoke, actually, of Instinct. Gonna throw a smoke there, and I don't know what exactly he's doing, throwing smokes at smoke. Now Casey was 3v2. Snipe takes down Instinct, however Vicar will pick off Crispy. And it's now still a man advantage here for the defending team of Brothers Till Death. So they're just Sniping and God of War, the 2 hard breachers, the primary one. Double kill from Sniping, evens it up. 3K from Sniping! Picks them off like clockwork, wow. And it's now up to just Vicar, and he's off-site as well. He could be locked in there, really. All they have to do is just hold him down and have Sniping plant with God of War covering. Sniping looking for the plant. Now, all God of War has to do is just cover him. Vicar realizing that, he pushes forward here. He's going to try and go behind them, pushing into Pillar, actually. And then they're just going to hold down this post plant. God of War going to move into Electrical there. And now Vicar trying to push in, but he's got somebody no matter where he goes. Does get swung on by Sniping for a 4K. And the round there for Calibrate Legacy will be up 4-2. BTD is also giving up Attic way too quickly. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out, is that they gave up Attic without any fight. Nobody was holding Attic, and like, even when they got the Maverick trick down, they just give it up immediately. Like, Maverick trick goes down, they just give it up. They reinforce it, and they're just like, alright, we're gonna cut our losses. Instead of trying to slow it down, trying to fight it, trying to get a kill or anything. So I think that's a good thing to point out. Now Casey was Malusi, that's what I said. CD, Malusi. Because they better JK. They're getting really coordinate right now. Yeah, I think that's another part of the equation, is that currently, even with the nitro kills that we saw there from CD as the Malusian Armory, I mean, even with those, like, Calibrate Legacy is on a roll here. And it's being really led by Snipin' and Gamer. The sort of hard supporter Snipin', getting all those walls open, and Gamer as the sort of hard frag. I would say a yin and yang in a sense. Have been really the core, I'd say, of this team, at least this game. And then the rest of them sort of helping out where they can, I'd say, but just been doing really well here. And I think that's the other part of it, is that they're on a roll. Even if they lose these next 2 rounds, which, based off of how it's been going, seems unlikely. Even if they lose these next 2 rounds, they're going on to defense. This is a defender-sided map, and they'll be up by 2 rounds. They'll have at least a 4-2 split, so really, there's no bad outcome here. There are worse outcomes, but there's no bad outcome, and looks like they might actually be trying to hold down Swamp there. Like you actually mentioned, Kainsey. They are going to actually try and hold that down. They do have a shield there that appears to be in Attic covering the trophy side. CD going to be lowered there, presumably by Crispy. I don't know exactly, though. And he'll now rotate away all the way into the basement now. Going to try and waste some more time, but he has been lowered here to just over 2 bars. Crispy as well as at just under 2 bars, so I don't know if they would combine for exactly 100 or just over or just under. So that's a fun thing to think about. But in reality, actually, Instinct holding an angle, you're trying to slow down that push actually from the tower side, but there's nobody even pushing that. He's holding an angle on nothing, really, as you can tell. Trying to get that wall open will be God of War using the Maverick to trick that, actually. Don't think that that's the right side. It's certainly a riskier side, but it's whatever suits your fancy. God of War is the Maverick, gonna try and get that open now. And rotating a drone around is gonna just throw his drone through there, even though there's a drone hole right by it, so... However, there's a Mozzie there right onto the drop-off, and realizing that they're droning that now, trying to push forward. It would be Domestic. He falls back, but it did take them about half of the round there to get that done with, and spending all 3 Selmas once again will be Snipin as the ace, and he's been doing very well in that spot, as I mentioned. Crispy getting a kill there into a Domestic finishes him off, so does I suppose say meet again, and there we go. He's gonna meet his demise there at the hands, actually, of Vicker as the Jaeger. He as well has been a fairly consistent fragger, I'd say. 4 Brothers Till Death gonna have to deal, however, with... There goes God of War. I was about to say it does have to deal with him, and he certainly did. Does get lowered, however, by Snipin as the ace. And now Gamer lowered as well. 3v3, however, Sniper picks off Vicker to actually trade his teammate. And now... below the objective would be Instinct. He still has his Nitro. He could go for that plant denial with the Nitro cell. Now, burning an ADS there. Gonna throw down a smoke, actually. Don't know what exactly they're doing that for. Both a smoke and a smoke wave gonna go down, and gotta be calling Instinct on that. Gotta be calling him for the defuse. Doesn't even matter. CD picks off Sniper to stop the plant. However, Gamer does trade him. Gamer being lowered there just a bit. And he'll now look for a better plant spot, but Swick will pick him off. Stop that. Actually, it's a 2v1 now, just up to Mr. Iconic. He pushes in, and Swig picks him off for a 1-4. Now, it could certainly be a 5-1 split favoring Legacy, but that was a glimmer of hope there for Brothers Till Death. Best Analyst NA. Yikes, should have held Attic longer again. This could be an easy plant unless Jaeger holds this, and Jaeger did hold that. He held it long enough to allow the rest of his team to really recoup, I'd say. The other part was that seemed to be a bit of a fumble, really, from Legacy. They let all the players of Brothers Till Death anchor safely on that side. They didn't even, try and play any mind games with Big Window or Kids Window or maybe a Maverick line into Kids from where the rotate normally is. So they just let them comfortably sit in there, and that allowed them to just proliferate by holding those angles. And then Vicker, as you mentioned, really did his job well. Yeah, as you just said, Jaeger saved the round. Vicker just held this little spot right here, this little corner, and they couldn't flush him out. They didn't have white, and they didn't have any sort of frag grenades to clear him out. He even got rid of the operator that normally has frags. God of War just picked him off and made it look like light work, really, and stopped that at push almost in its entirety, I'd say. And then, even though Instinct, I think, is the correct player, is below with the Nitro as Mozzie, even if he was below with the Nitro and he could have stopped the plant from below, it didn't even matter. The Vigil from, I think it was CD, still managed to stop that plant, and now it's going to be 1-4 here. Still down 3 rounds, but could very well be in a worse spot based off of how that went. And now they will be looking here to just... Best Analyst NA, thank you. Thank you, Bratuga. My Russian is not good, in case you can't tell. Gonna just try and hold down basement here for their final sight, and switching up, I've been gonna have Instinct as the Goyo actually holding down that shield instead of the smoke. Usually they've actually switched that out for somebody else. I think switching out in particular for the mute, though I might be wrong on that. So gonna have his MP5K sights trained actually on a very tight angle actually onto Boiler Stairs. I don't think that any member of Legacy has really realized that he's holding that. But there's actually a crossfire being held as Domestic also holding that angle, so sort of a bait and switch between the two MP5K players if you don't want to count the recruit. One of which is Domestic holding that angle, and then the other would be a similar angle being held by Swick there. So gonna try and do what he can to handle that, and now droning that out. Potentially noticing Domestic at least. I don't know if they've actually noticed Swick though, and I don't know exactly how they're going to respond to this, because this is a bit of a dangerous situation, especially considering how many well, mine magnets and That sort of utility has been gathered, I'd say, in that area. Now, gonna burn actually a stun and an impact, and it only has one impact left. Mr. Iconic's utility being burnt up to a crisp there, and now Gamer might be looking to throw something at it, but it appears to be that there's still one air magnet, I almost said air jab left, and there we go. So there's now down to just one sort of soft breach utility each, and they didn't even take it out. Oh my, what a gaff there from Gamer, as well as from Mr. Iconic, but especially from Gamer. He didn't have to burn any more ADSs, any more magnets, any of that, but just gave it away. Really didn't hit the Ash charge right. So they need to hit it right around the pillar if they want to get rid of that shield and make this push easier. But doesn't even matter. Mr. Iconic just gonna go full on. Does get a double actually, but will get traded by Swick. Mr. Iconic getting traded 2v4, and Crispy will pick off CD. Now Nitro goes out to even it up potentially. Does kill God of War. And now there he goes. Swick getting the double kill, if I'm remembering correctly, picking off Gamer as well. It's now to just Crispy and Snipin, the two support operators against the Swick and Instinct. Now Instinct still stuck in blue elbow. Crispy down, 3k from Swick, and a kill from Instinct finishes it off. It'll now be 2-4. Still gonna be splitting at half, favoring the attacking team. So Legacy in a very good position here, but a recovery made by by the defending team there, but there's still death. And gonna take a quick peek at scoreboards now. Swick leading his team with 8 kills. Vicar not far behind actually with 6 on the side of There's Still Death. On the side of Calibrate Legacy actually, Snipin' and Gamer both tussling for top frag. Both have 8 actually. Both of them actually have over a 2.0 KD. Snipin' going 8-3, Gamer going 8-4. So 2.0 on the dot. Next person man would actually be Mr. Iconic, going 6-4. So strong plays here from Calibrate Legacy, and we actually saw quite a recovery from Calibrate Legacy the other day against a different team. I can't believe I'm saying their name out loud. Seaman Demons is their name. They went to 1-5 on the attack, so they were one round away from getting flawless on the attacking half. And just now, Crispy and the rest of Calibrate Legacy almost had a perfect half. They went 4-2, so obviously not perfect, but could have certainly definitely had the possibility, to say the least. And after they went 1-5, they won 6 rounds in a row. So, really showed that this is a strong map for Calibrate Legacy. The fact that they managed to basically just I would say shoot themselves in the foot over and over again, trip on their own feet, and even after doing that, managed to make up for it, get an entire half, all consecutively, and win it. It really goes to show that they are a force to be reckoned with on this map. So, gonna now try and hold down actually. Seems to be some sort of extension actually vertically into meeting, but could very well be collapsed actually by just a member of Brothers to Death going up to the top floor and opening up that meeting hatch. Like that could spell the death of Mr. Iconic, or at the very least would push him away from the area. And he does have ways to rotate out, considering that he does not have an impact. He has nitros. So, and another player actually going to be playing the 3 appears? No, just 2. Just him and the Jaeger actually of Gamercheck, who's been a consistent force to be reckoned with on the frag. And now going to try and open that up, but does get that opened up thanks to a breaching charge. Could have went the way of Gamercheck, but he did not hit the breaching charge in time. I don't think he had the right angle on it. He did, however, give them a bit of a scare. So gonna give him A for effort. And the other part of this equation really is Crispy. He did the same hold just last night with the clash and the barbed wire. And there's a Banshee there and the barbed wire. So you can tell there at one point there was an ADS right next to the Banshee, but they actually moved that down. But still, and as you can tell, Sniping down, not just yet, but down, and Ash Charge will go trying to finish him off, but Instinct picks off God of War instead. And now rotating around would be Crispy, realizing the importance of the situation, gonna rotate around and almost pushes himself into a crossfire between two players, sandwich himself actually, and double kill there from Instinct, taking down Mr. Iconic as well. This is not really the way that they wanted this to open up, but both Instinct and CD lowered, and CD almost to death at this point. Crispy lower there, Vicar picked off by GamerCheck. However, Instinct getting the 3 count of Crispy. Nitro goes out there from sniping to pick off CD. It's a 3v2 here. Still a man advantage favoring the attacking team with about 45 seconds left. Just over that domestic, and we try and push through Freezer here to no sort of contest outside of sniping holding an angle. But even then, if they figure out where he is, that could actually go to compromise it. And both of them are low. Both of the remaining members of Calibrate Legacy are low health, so all they need to do is just play for refrags, win the gunfights. Quad kill from Instinct, and he might be looking for the ace here. Gonna spot Gamer, trying to get that ace, holding the angle here. And Domestic taking the ace, getting the kill, but getting the round, and that's what they needed to open up this half. So they're gonna be breathing a sigh of relief, really, for that, and now gonna just keep the momentum going, keep on rolling, hopefully, as they will now actually move to attack top floor here, a top floor pick from the defending team. MP5K on mute, no, it wasn't MP5K. It was MP5K on Swick when he was running in on the last round, but not on sniping. He ran M5.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I sent that message like 5 minutes ago. Well, I didn't check until now. Okay? I'm sorry. But, yeah.
10 seconds to insertion.
We're now going to try and hold this down, and switching off of that clash play, doesn't seem to be any sort of extensions or anything towards the trophy side or even armory. Just looking to really have a strong core, I'd say, on the objective, and could be setting a shield there, as you saw, or set up a shield actually in attic, watching that trophy and game push, specifically the game wall. But just gonna try and slow down that any sort of attic or to an extent game pushes. Would be God of War, who's just holding down tarp or slump, whichever one you want to call it. Bit of a shrunk if you wanted to make a joke about it, and Ash Charge goes down below and does get zapped, so lesson learned. And there we go, sends out a second Selma, so that's gonna put him in a bit of a tough spot, considering that Instinct is their only hard breach. Pardon me, Swick is their other hard breach. But that's put them in a bit of a tough spot, considering that they only have one Selma and then all of Swick's utility. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing. .4v5 though, Mr. Iconic picks off CD. And I was almost getting lulled to sleep there, pardon for the silence, as seemingly some slower play here. The match being brought to almost a halt there by the attacking team. They're taking this on a slower pace, a bit more tactically. That's going to end up starting to work against them, considering that sniping now is the Banshees as Malusi, and Crispy still has 2 smoke waves left and just about a minute and 10, so can certainly waste a good amount of time here, and even more considering that he is still playing that, actually. Sends out a second smoke grade. Might have scuffed it just a bit, but not the end of the world for him, and going to send out his final one, potentially eyeing it, throwing it on that breach there, set up actually by Instinct, and as you can tell, just the sort of usual pincer you might see for an attacking team. Going to counter some resistance there, and final smoke wave goes out there from Crispy, taking down Swick. Not taking down Swick, endangering Swick, pardon me. Sort of made an overstatement tonight. Mr. Iconic going to be all the way off site, just wasting the time there on a bit of the health of Domestic, but he's quite low, so needs to really be careful. Gonna just fire through that wall, try and figure out where he is, but he might have just put himself in a corner, actually. Domestic pushing forward here, and he's stuck in the middle of showers. He doesn't have any assistance. He's low health.
15 seconds left.
So if Domestic figures out where he is, doesn't even matter. Mr. Iconic gets that double kill, as you saw, as Instinct picks off Sniping. Instinct getting the double kill in response, and Vic picking up Mr. Iconic. Gamercheck over, gonna get a double kill onto Instinct and Swick. It's a 1v2. Vickers the last one alive. Doesn't have the diffuser, does not even have time. And I'm beginning to make some word soup over here. As you can tell, it is 5-3. One round away from match point here for Calibrate, Legacy, and Gamercheck is, with that, going to be stepping into double digits. And sniping one kill off. So it's certainly possible to have two players once again in the double digits. This match as well. We saw it last night, so we could very well see it again. Now, as you can see, going to be going back to basement here. And this was the site that was won very dominantly by Brothers Till Death, and I think the reason for that is that the clash play from Crispy, for the most part, was ineffective, especially the way that he had originally set it up with the utility on the boiler side, and then the extension vertically was useless, I'd say. And I know that useless is a strong word, but it is, I think, the word that suits it best, because nobody really tried to clear it out. Brothers to Death didn't waste any time on it. All they did was put a breaching charge above, and then they didn't even fly off of it to get any man advantage or get any gunfights. All they did was just put a breaching charge above, and all of a sudden Legacy was freaking out and they left. So they put that utility, they put the operators up there, and it only took one breaching charge and it all was gone. So I think that that's the reason why the last time they went here it sort of fell apart. But gonna bring something a bit more simple, sort of off of what I would normally see though. Sniping is the Goyo gonna set up a Goyo there, right on that wall, and a fuse. Did I hear that right? No. There is, however, somebody with the AK-12 and Instinct as the ace. Not surprised at all by that, but for a second I thought I heard a fuse, and I was about to laugh at that, to say the least. But no, I was only dreaming of another place and time where my family's from. I think that's the lyrics for a Green Day song, if anybody gets that. But I'm gonna focus actually on this day, this current round. Just on the minute, really, of Vicar going to be pushing in, as you can see, just trying to make his way now to main stairs, and they've cleared out the top floor. There's nobody roaming all the way on the top floor. There's nobody on the first floor either, so it's a free take, essentially. All they have to do is just not waste a third of Hibana's utility on a single hatch. Because it makes it a bit weird for them, especially considering that freezer hatch is soft, so all they need to do is get one Hibana pellet on that, or, you know, have domestic. There we go. Not to be confused with home, which is the same as domestic. But he's gonna try and push down boiler stairs there, or have him throw his hammer down on that freezer hatch. But doesn't mean that that's what they're gonna be doing. They're actually gonna be looking to open up the electrical wall, spending that appears to be all their utility actually on that electrical wall. So they have to rely on Swick if they want to get anything from the blue wall or freezer, and actually domestic will be picked off there, presumably by Mr. Iconic as the bandit. He's just holding that sort of off of meta, actually. 3v5 is lower due to that going just kaboom. That's the downside of the Goyo shield, is that they have an explosion radius. If you're caught in that, you are, to say the least, in deep trouble. At least Nitro goes out to no avail. Does not take down either of those Banshees, though. And simply because there was nothing else to cover that, the ADS wasn't very useful, I'd say. Now, just try and swing it, but Vicar punishes him for that for a 3v4 now. And now trying to keep that even, trying to even it up, actually, be God of War. As the, just holding down an angle here, as you can see. Now we're going to send out some Hibana pellets, sending down 6 and a 4 and 2 instead of a 6, so wasting a bit of time, but it doesn't really matter. Crispy lowered there, she's just holding a prone angle here. Does get the kill there on the instinct, and the Fuser's down with 5 seconds left. 2v4. Other Goy Shield goes down. 2v3. Vicar gets a double kill, but too little too late. Round will go the way there of Calibrate Legacy, and it is now 6-3 and match point as well. And Crispy just left, so I'm gonna pause. So I'm gonna pause to allow him to rejoin. So, anyways, time to entertain all your thoughts and questions while we wait for this to go through. But just very simple math: for every 2 rounds that have gone the way of Calibrate Legacy, only 1 has gone the way of Brothers to Death. And since switching to attack, Calibrate Legacy has won 2 rounds, and Brothers to Death has won 1. So, I mean, it's that proportion, really. So. And it's been a pretty strong match, I'd say. Anyways, God of War just waiting to pick whoever he wants. I don't know what exactly happened with him, but Crispy gonna return. I'm gonna give him a couple seconds to pick somebody, because I would do the same for either team. But considering that this is potentially match point, I wanna keep this all smooth. Keep it all smooth for both teams involved. Keep it clean, keep it fair, and there we go. And now we're gonna keep the show on the road, folks. So we're back at it, and just finishing up the pick phase, really. Now a bit of a hurdle here for Legacy to jump over potentially, but even if they end up just running straight through that hurdle, they can go just up to top floor, because they will have unlocked that site if they go to 4-6, and they have a guaranteed overtime, so they have quite a safety net at this point. They've padded themselves up. They've secured all their exits, all that sort of stuff. But I'm gonna try and hold down meeting and kitchen here, and we actually saw a meeting extension at the beginning of this half from them. And that was what gave the round to Brothers Till Death. And so now they're gonna try and actually hold down meeting as well as kitchen, and get a round from it and get the win thanks to that. So we'll have to see. And ever since the 1-round win there from Brothers to Death, it's been once again returned to that sort of smothering that we saw from Brothers to Death, not from Brothers to Death, from Calibrate Legacy, and just been quite dominant. It seems to me, at least, that they're just playing it smart. They're wasting a lot of time. They're wasting the utility of Brothers to Death, and Brothers to Death hasn't really been diversifying their pushes, it seems. Hasn't been trying to be a bit more adaptive, been more, I'd say, one-dimensional than they should be. Haven't done a lot of vertical play, though. There's admittedly not a lot on basement, outside of the hatches. But even then, I think the really deadly part is that they've been trying to push through utility at this point. That's all they've really been doing, is just pushing through utility in the fact that they see the utility, and even if it's really heavy utility, even if that's like the push that they've meant to deny, Crispy gonna get swung on by the Ash there of CD, but CD potatoed, and Crispy escapes scot-free. So I'm sure he's gonna be just wiping the sweat off of his brow thanks to that one, and he's gonna finish his finishing his setup just like nothing happened. Just your average day over at the meeting and kitchen bomb site. But now, as you can tell, just trying to hold down the vertical here. would be Mr. Iconic, as well as Snipin', the two of them holding this down. 2 above, 3 below, as usual, you know, as with many other sites, tertiary sites, they're split sites. The only other exception that I can think of is potentially Reading and Fireplace 4v5 that Mr. Iconic takes down Vicar, removes the, and there he goes, getting traded by CD, and will get picked off there by Snipin'. So it'll now be a 3v4 man advantage once again favoring the defending team with about a minute left here, and Snipin's gonna fall down there, gives up the sort of extension hold actually above, and however, at this point, he's wasted enough time to have a man advantage. There's only a minute left. They've gotten rid of 2 very strong operators, and now they still have to deal with Gamer Check, though. 3v3 Swick picks off Crispy. Gamer Check killing Domestic, and it's now 2v3. 1v3 Sniping gets a double kill with a Nitro, actually, onto Instinct, and Gamer finishes it off with a double kill there onto Swick to close it out. 7-3. Calibrate Legacy will win it against Brothers Till Death. Strong showing for Calibrate Legacy. And now they are, what, 2-0 in placements.
GG's.
GG, y'all.
Good game.
GG, gentlemen.
GG.
GG,
Love
Nate.
you, Snipin'.
What? Escargot, bro. Like, you're just such a gunner, bro.
Escargot,
One.
Escargot,
send me
you could've
the
been
link to
spectating me.
the stream, please.
Escargot, bro, you spectated me.
It's in the CG server, and it's also in Midnight. But I'll send it to
Okay,
you right now.
thank you.
I swear,
Alright.
bro. If Escargot wasn't spectating me, bro, I'd be so sad, dude.
I was spectating you, don't worry.
Okay, good.